Welcome to an introduction to FishVue Interpret. We will discuss overall viewing abilities and sensor data interpretation using the program. FishVue Interpret is designed to receive and consolidate imagery, location, date and time, and sensor information regarding various vessel operations into one program for effective remote fisheries monitoring. This includes species ID capabilities, piece counting abilities, identifying gaps in data such as time gaps or video gaps, identifying significant events concerning vessel equipment, and accurately identifying fishing events. As well, we will provide a look into the program's artificial intelligence capabilities. This is the timeline. It is comprised of line graphs which are representative of the vessel's sensor activity during their fishing trip. The speed, pressure, and drum sensors. They are plotted in relation to the specific time and date that the fishing took place. The three standard sensors of longline trips are present in this dataset. The speed sensor, which is comprised of GPS points taken every 10 seconds and plotted over time. The drum sensor, which is present as line is being set and hauled. And the pressure sensor, which activates as a line is being hauled back in. These make it possible for us to pinpoint fishing activity. Vessels can have sensor configurations unique to their fishing gear and operations, as different fisheries may have different monitoring tools. The timeline and the accompanying sensors are plotted against date and time. This allows fishing activity to be analyzed according to the actual times that the events occurred. Note that you can select some or all of the trip to view at once. In addition to the timeline information, GPS data points taken every 10 seconds are plotted along the map, which can be seen here. The GPS points are a secondary way for us to identify fishing activities based on the specific pattern of movement that a vessel exhibits when setting or hauling. The movement of the vessel is also synced with the pressure and drum sensors, as well as the video, which gives us a highly comprehensive view of the vessel's activity. We call this dotted line the cruise track. FishVue Interpret also supports the installation of customized shapefiles. In this case, we can see that the shapefiles represent various protected areas and fishing zones in purple, yellow, and red. If a vessel's cruise track enters any of these protected areas or other areas that we must monitor, a corresponding box graph will show on the FBI interface. This alerts the processor to the entry or other determined activity within the closed area. Shapefiles can be created based on immediate need and can be installed or hidden easily. Box graphs can also tell us a lot about other system events such as time gaps or video gaps. Here they are graphed in separate fields. These box graphs can be a variety of colors depending on the reason that there is a gap in the data. A power failure event is often red. A technician shutdown will be light blue, or sleep mode will be green, for example. In the events field at the top of FBI, point annotations can also be viewed that correspond to these box graphs. You can also see events such as functionality tests or automatic video recording starts. It is important to note again that all event, box graph, video, cruise track, and sensor data are completely synced together, which gives us a highly comprehensive view of all fishing activity. Annotations are configurable forms that an analyst uses to record program or project-specific events with associated spatial data based on examination of the dataset. For example, annotations can include fishing activities such as sets and hauls, tows, catch data, hook counts, threatened, endangered, and protected species or TEP, and FADs. The annotations are configurable and can include fields such as utilization, for example, was the species retained or discarded, and the condition of the catch, such as was it damaged. In this video, we will demo some example annotations. When and how to enter them will depend on the methodology for the project or fishery program. Here we are going to show an example dataset from a longliner. However, Interpret is being used by customers to review data from many different gear types, including demersal and pelagic longline, midwater and bottom trawlers, traps, troll, pole and line, jig, gill netters, as well as purse seiners. To begin with, trip starts and ends are marked with a trip start and a trip end annotation. We mark these based on the first sign of the vessel traveling away from port to the fishing grounds, and mark the end as the vessel's return to port and cessation of all speed sensor activity. Sets can be identified with a sustained decrease in speed and a sustained increase in the drum sensor. As the line is being set, the sensor is being activated. We mark these events with a set annotation. They can also be identified in the cruise track as long, straight lines, often with a 45 to 90 degree turn preceding or following them. Hulls are represented with a sustained decrease in speed and a sustained increase in pressure and drum sensors. As you can see in the cruise track, hauling events align with their respective previous setting event. Hauling events will follow the same track as the setting event, but will often have wavier lines and will be darker as the vessel travels slower during a haul. A haul must be linked to its appropriate set. The software shows time and distance differences between each set and the sets that it may be linked to. Once a haul has been linked to its appropriate set, we then add a video haul annotation nested under the original blue haul annotation. Within FVI, individual fish are viewable. Here, I can see that a fish may be coming up soon. As such, I'll be able to make an appropriate accompanying annotation, which will be added to the timeline at this exact moment during fishing. Here, multiple dogfish were shown. The dogfish were held against the measuring grid for up to 3 seconds, meaning that it was measured. I can add an appropriate annotation for this event. I will select dogfish from my species drop-down menu, and then I will select discarded, measured legal. I also saw that a dogfish at the same moment was retained. I can also add an annotation for this. We can also add if the fish was damaged or predated. Shortcut keys do exist in FVI, and users can set their keypads with hotkeys according to the most frequent catch on different kinds of trips, which speeds up the viewing process. As the video plays, this red line will move across the timeline. All cameras are synchronized to this time during playback. The video can be played back at a range of speeds from 0.5 to 16 times speed if desired. I can also pause the video and move through frame by frame, backwards and forwards. I can zoom in on the camera window. And if needed, I can also rotate or flip the video window for a clearer view of the fish. Detections from AI algorithms can be loaded into the software for assisted review. Here we have loaded catch detections. In the video playback window, we can select this key and set different parameters to adjust the AI to the specific trip that we are viewing. The reviewer can use the controls to jump to those detections indicated by the pink bars here, and skip the video that does not have any detections, indicated by the green bars here. This feature allows reviewers to choose to focus their review on sections of the video where AI detections are found. In this case, fish detections. By assisting reviewers to focus on portions of the video with detections of interest, there is the potential to increase video review efficiency. The features that a user can adjust in FVI are the detection rate, the speed at which the video plays when a fish detection is present, the no detection rate, the speed at which the video plays when no fish detections are present, the jump gap, in which FVI will jump gaps in detection that are greater than this value. You can select 0 to always jump gaps. The interval gap tolerance, which merges detections that are within this value of seconds from one another. And the detection pad, which pads detection start and end by this value of seconds to avoid missing any video of the fish. You can also choose to select auto rate change, so the system will automatically speed up between
In this video, we will review the length measurement tool available in FishVue Interpret that allows reviewers to estimate the length of individual catch items. First, a length measurement area on board the vessel must be set up with 9 reference points of known distances between them. In this example, we have a length measurement board. To use the length measurement tool, we must first calibrate the image by selecting the settings menu. This opens a measurement calibration window where we enter the known distances between the points, and we click on each of the 9 reference points on the grid. We are now ready to measure. Next, the reviewer can create an annotation for a catch item as it passes through the length measurement area. They can enter the species and additional information, and then they can estimate the length of the fish by clicking on the nose and then the tail of the fish. The length will automatically save in the estimated length field. The reviewer can then enter their annotation, and it will be saved along with the other data and can be viewed in the annotation list window here. When clicking on the Edit button for the annotation we just made, we can see the estimated length here, now saved within the dataset.